Dear cooking friends, today we are going to make risotto ai carciofi, risotto with fresh artichokes, which are in season at the moment, so it's always good to use things that are in season. But first we have to make some stock. Hello dear cooking friends, in this recipe we are going to make some chicken stock. We always have a pot of chicken or vegetable stock going in our kitchen. And because we use it to add liquid to many sauces. It's particularly important to make a good risotto. So today we're going to make a chicken stock. If you want to make a vegetable stock, simply omit the chicken. To make a good chicken stock we need onion, tomato, carrot, celery, chicken, some peppercorns, and some garlic and some bay leaves and water, of course. We're going to start by putting the chicken. This is a chicken leg cut in two, or you can also use chicken backs or any part of the chicken, as long as it has a lot of bones in it. Don't put just chicken breast, it needs to have bones in it. I have skinned the chicken because this way the stock will not be greasy. We are going to add some celery, which we are just going to cut in big chunks, just enough so it fits in the pot, with the leaves. Leaves are very important because all the aroma is in the leaves. The carrots, we have washed them, but we have not peeled them. So we are going to cut them in big chunks also. No need to cut them small. We cut top and bottom off. And we're going to put a tomato, which we're going to make a little cross cut, just a little cross cut like that, so that the flavor comes out but not the skins. And then we're going to put the onion with the skin on, okay? So we're going to cut the onion in half and again in half, so we have quarters. And we're going to leave the skin on, because in the skin there is flavor and color. In the tomato has some green, we have to remove it. I didn't see it. Okay, here we go. So these skins for the onion is important because it gives flavor and color. Then we're going to put the couple of pieces of garlic smashed, as you do in the kitchen. A little whack. All chefs are a little wacky, as you know. You gotta be wacky to work in the kitchen. So we're gonna put 3 fresh bay leaves, or even 4, and then about a abundant teaspoon of peppercorns. Okay, here we go. And we're gonna put it on the stove to cook. In the stock, we're going to put also some parsley stalks. Usually they throw them away, but they have flavor. But they're too tough to eat, so we can use them by putting them in the stock. So we have put all the vegetables in the water without salt. We are not going to salt the stock because we are going to use it for cooking. And if you use something for cooking, it's better if it's not salted, because we might be using it with salty ingredients. We can always salt at the end. I prefer to salt at the end when everything is cooked and you can add the correct amount of salt to it. So we're going to bring it to the boil, and as soon as it comes to the boil, we're going to turn it down to simmer. Our stock has come to the boil. It's time to turn it down to a lower heat. We're going to let it continue cooking for another 10-15 minutes. 45 minutes is sufficient. We are not making a broth for soup, we're making a broth for risotto. So we don't want too much flavor, but just enough to give a little flavor, light vegetable flavor, light chicken flavor. So we are now ready to use this stock for anything that we want. To make a good chicken stock, we need onion, tomato, carrot, celery, chicken, some peppercorns, and some garlic and some bay leaves. And water, of course. We're going to start by putting the chicken. This is a chicken leg cut in two, or you can also use chicken backs or any part of the chicken, as long as it has a lot of bones in it. Don't put just chicken breast, it needs to have bones in it. I have skinned the chicken because this way the stock will not be greasy. We are going to add some celery, which we are just going to cut in big chunks, just enough so it fits in the pot, with the leaves. Leaves are very important because all the aroma is in the leaves. The carrots, we have washed them, but we have not peeled them. So we are going to cut them in big chunks also. No need to cut them small. We cut top and bottom off. And we're going to put a tomato, which we're going to make a little cross cut, just a little cross cut like that, so that the flavor comes out but not the skins. And then we're going to put the onion with the skin on, okay? So we're going to cut the onion in half and again in half, so we have quarters. And we're going to leave the skin on, because in the skin there is flavor and color. In the tomato has some green, we have to remove it. I didn't see it. Okay, here we go. So these skins for the onion is important because it gives flavor and color. Then we're going to put the couple of pieces of garlic, smashed, as you do in the kitchen. A little whack. All chefs are a little wacky, as you know. You gotta be wacky to work in the kitchen. So we're gonna put 3 fresh bay leaves, or even 4, and then about a teaspoon of peppercorns. Okay, here we go. And we're gonna put it on the stove to cook. In the stock, we're going to put also some parsley stalks. Usually they throw them away, but they have flavor. But they're too tough to eat, so we can use them by putting them in the stock. Hello dear cooking friends. Today we are going to make a risotto with fresh asparagus and asiago cheese. Fresh asparagus are in season at the moment, so just like artichokes, they're a good thing to cook at this time of the year because they're full of flavor and they're not expensive. So what are the ingredients for the risotto with asparagus and asiago cheese? The ingredients for the asparagus and asiago risotto is fresh asparagus, asiago cheese, parsley, diced tomato, rice, this is about 6 ounces, garlic, Parmesan cheese and onion. And now we'll proceed to start cooking the risotto. We start by preparing the asparagus. We'll be using about 2 per portion. We'll be doing about 4 portions, first course size. We're using 170 grams of cannelloni rice, which is 6 ounces, but it grows a lot because it absorbs a lot of liquid and there are all the ingredients inside. We start by snapping the bottom of the asparagus. Then we cut the tips of the asparagus and we keep them aside. The rest of the asparagus we're going to slice in little wheels. This is what is going to give the flavor to the risotto, and the tips we're going to put towards the end. They will also give flavor, but they will be mostly for decoration. We're going to put our asparagus in there, in the bowl, and then we'll get all our ingredients together and we start cooking our asparagus risotto. Yummy. So we start by adding some onion, about 2 tablespoons, and we're going to add a little butter, about half an ounce to 1 ounce, and about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We are going to toast the onion. We're going to until it becomes a little bit translucent. For those who are reasonably new to Italian cuisine or or come from southern Italy, you might wonder why we use butter instead of extra virgin olive oil. Because this dish originates from Milan, and in that area, in that region called Piemonte or Piedmont, olive trees don't grow much. But they have a lot of grass and a lot of cows, so they use butter. So being that this dish comes from Milan, originally, we have butter in it. We're going to add also some butter at the very end. So we're going to toast the onions until they are translucent, and then we're going to add our carnaroli rice. Carnaroli rice is newer rice. The most popular one is arborio rice, but a few decades ago they invented a new variety called carnaroli. Carnaroli is a bit smaller and is more starchy, so it releases more starch in the sauce and makes a creamier risotto. So if you cannot find carnaroli, arborio is perfectly alright, but with carnaroli you get a better results. So our onions are starting to be transparent and going towards becoming golden. It's time to add our risotto rice. We're going to toast the rice for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to add some white wine, a dry white wine. This is a DOC, so I have a white wine, but you can use any table wine as long as it's dry and it's not vinegar. It's got to be drinkable, okay? So something you would have like on a day-to-day situation. So in Italy we drink, not as much as before, but we drink wine, a glass of wine at every meal, especially red wine. So it's got to be something you can drink. A table wine is just fine. Unless you want to make a risotto with champagne, then you have to use champagne. Here we are, white wine. So we put quite a bit of stock in the risotto. We want to make it quite wet. The cold wine is shocking the rice, and it's going to release the starch better this way. So once the wine has been absorbed, we're going to start adding stock, chicken stock. Alright, time for the stock. So we put quite a bit of stock at the beginning because the rice needs to absorb liquid to become soft. So it has to be in a lot of liquid. So we make it very soupy, so it's submerged basically. A lot of people have trouble making risotto because maybe they have misunderstood what they're supposed to say when they to let the liquid dry. It's actually not dry, it's like reduced. And so if you don't keep enough liquid in the pan, your risotto will take all day to cook. But this way it'll take 20 minutes. I'm going to put a timer on and see if that's true. So about 2 minutes have expired, so we're going to put 18 minutes and see what happens. Sometimes I tell lies. Not intentionally, but sometimes. Alright. So this is the time to add the sliced asparagus. So the risotto will start to absorb the flavor. We're also going to put 2 teaspoons of garlic, crushed garlic, and some salt and pepper. Or 1 teaspoon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. We add a little more liquid. And we let it cook. At the very end, we're going to put in also some fresh basil because it gives a lovely aroma to the asparagus. We're also going to put about 3 ounces of asiago cheese. Asiago cheese is a lovely, delicate tasting cheese. This one is semi-soft and but has a very nice taste. This cheese is also found aged like Parmesan cheese. And when it's aged, it's a little stronger tasting than Parmigiano. It is made with cow's milk. We have just under 10 minutes to go. The rice is becoming bigger, absorbing liquid. Just keep it nice and wet. We have about just under 9 minutes to go. And the rice is starting to become translucent around the edges. I'm going to keep 3 of these tips for decorating the risotto plate. The rice is becoming bigger, so we're going to add a little more stock. Still we need to keep it nice and wet. About 6 minutes to go. Another minute and we are going to add the tips. This risotto is also very nice with saffron. Looks very pretty. The rice is releasing its starch. You can tell because it's becoming much more liquid, creamy. So we add a little more stock and we're going to add the asparagus tips. We're going to replace the ones that we took away. We don't want to cheat anybody out of their asparagus tips. You don't need to stir the risotto all the time. You can leave it for a minute or two, but not more. This is probably be the last stock we're going to put. The rice is starting to become soft. There is a few little pieces of hard rice in the center of it, but the rest is soft. Means not long to go. We're going to test for salt. Needs a little extra salt. Just a quarter teaspoon. Salt is up to your taste. Some people like salt, some people don't like salt. In Tuscany especially, we eat salty. When I lived in America, in Florida, in Pembroke Pines, I had a restaurant there for 3 years, late 80s. And after I came back from the Americas, everything tasted salty to me in Italy. But now I'm used to the salt again. So when I go to America, everything tastes insipid. But it's a personal choice. Looking good. So now's the time to add we have only a few minutes left, and we're going to add the asiago cheese. This is going to be a delicious risotto. Wow. Yummy, mummy. This cheese melts quite nicely. And then we're going to plate. It's looking good. Pretty and delicious. Smells wonderful. I'm so sad that we don't have smell-o-vision yet. On the other hand, maybe some teenagers, what kind of smells would they send to their friends, huh? Makes you wonder. Allora, here we go. Plating time. But maybe I should taste it first. Make sure it's okay. Delicious. All right, plating time. So now we're going to transform this risotto with asparagus to a risotto with asparagus and saffron. Very, very pretty. Saffron in Italy is relatively inexpensive. We use the powdered saffron. This is 0.1 gram, a hint of nothing. It's the most expensive spice in the world. It costs per kilo about between 9 and 10,000 euros. Because to make 1 kilo you need 10,000 flowers. This is 0.1 gram, so it's about €1. There we go, we have a transformation. Very pretty looking risotto. A variation on the risotto with asparagus, asiago cheese and saffron. So we're going to plate it. We'll do that here. So risotto with asparagus is also very nice with shrimps in it. The asparagus tips, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, a little bit of parsley, ta-da!